Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching the F&O Show on BloombergQuint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza. Let's take a look at the top headlines at this hour. Markets are off to their opening highs. The Nifty trades around the 12,250 mark, while the Pharma Index is the top sectoral gainer. Open interest is rising in stocks like Bharti Airtel and Tata Global Beverages. Yes Bank will hold its board meeting today to consider the raising of funds, and the stock is trading with some gains. Finally, GMR Infra has signed a joint venture with Hong Kong-based ESR Cayman. The stock is trading with marginal gains right now. And looking at the markets, after yesterday's strong gains, there is some incremental buying, which is definitely coming in the opening trade. Let's see if that sustains or not. As we highlighted, we're already off the opening highs, which was somewhere about 12,270. Sensex also up about 100 points in trade, while the Nifty Bank is trading with gains of about 80 points right now. Let's take a look at the broader market indices too. Remember, yesterday's bounce back was across the board. We did see the broader market indices too participating. So both mid-cap, small-cap indices are right now registering gains of between 0.5% to 1% respectively. The market breadth is looking good, so that's another positive sign. 2:1 is the ratio, and the volatility, which cooled off about 10% in yesterday's session, is right now hovering around the level of 14. It's off the day's opening lows right now. Let's see if the volatility inches higher moving ahead. Just want to quickly highlight on the levels you should watch out for next weekly expiry, which is scheduled on January 16. That's the distribution there on your screen. Maximum open interest on the call side is at the 12,200 200 strike, while on the put side you are seeing maximum OI concentration. Actually, it's all 12,100, 12,200 put strikes are sitting with maximum open interest, while call side 12,200 remains active. And remember, for the longest time, 12,300 has been a big resistance for the markets. In fact, all-time high levels are 12,293. We've not been able to touch that mark so far. Every time index goes close to that mark, there is some bit of reversal profit booking which comes in, and that happened, by the way, today as well. So for the time being, 12,300 call and put both strikes are seeing OI addition, while you are seeing maximum open interest addition coming in for the 12,200 put, which is telling you that could be the first support, at least in today's trading session. So we'll watch out for all these levels and individual pockets which are in focus, because the Nifty Auto Index, which was your top sectoral gainer yesterday, that too is seeing some bit of gains coming in today's session as well. And Dr. Reddy's, I guess, that stock's doing pretty well. 8,200 right now on Nifty Auto. Once again, it dipped into the red. There was some buying which once again came in at lower levels. The index is now up about 0.5%. I want to pull up Dr. Reddy's too, which is sitting with good amount of gains. The stock's up about 2%. I think owing to that, you are seeing some good gains coming in for the Nifty Pharma Index as well. And remember, the Bharti twins, they are in focus. Nifty Pharma Index is up about 1.5%. In terms of individual stock futures, hi Darshan, good morning. I think it's been a good bounce back after the geopolitical tensions have simmered, buying coming in across the board, and there are a lot of individual stock futures which have been buzzing. Yeah, so let's pull them up and see which are the stocks that you need to watch out for, and are moving on the back of high open interest build up. So Bharti Airtel is seeing open interest build up of 28%. Despite the news of coming in that the QIP being oversubscribed, it's rather muted. Tata Global hits a fresh 52-week high open interest build up of 22% on the long side. Today it's a pharma day. Most of the pharma stocks have done well, and Torrent Pharma has done well. Chola Mandalam is doing well. It's seen open interest build up of 10%. And because of the move that we've seen in crude, Interglobe Aviation continues to rise in higher. It's up by 1%. So there is positive traction there. In terms of stocks which are seeing open interest decline, you had Bosch, which has seen open interest decline of 2%. Short covering that is seen. HDFC Bank is seeing a bit of short covering. Yesterday and the day before, it was rather weak in trade. And ITC is the other stock which is seeing a bit of short covering that's coming in. All right, so a lot of stock futures to keep an eye on. And on the show today, we will be discussing 3 stocks with our experts. Of course, we'll be taking some queries as well. Tata Global Beverages, the stock's up for the 4th straight session, and it's been trading above all its key moving averages. Dr. Reddy's has hit its 52-week high in today's trade, and this one too, by the way, is up for the 4th straight session. Futures indicating long position, and after UBS has downgraded MGL to a rating of sell, the stock, has slipped below the mark of 50-day moving average, and this one's down for for the 7th straight session today, Darshan.
Yeah, that's about it. So these are the stocks that we will discuss. Obviously, all of them trading with positive bias. Before we get a guest on the show, here's a reminder: if you have queries regarding the futures and option market, you can call us on 022454044141 or write to us on Twitter, Facebook with the AskBQ hashtag. Let's welcome our experts on the show. Joining us on the show today are Ruchit Jain of Angel Broking and Brijesh Singh of StockAxis. Many thanks to both of our guests for joining in. Ruchit, I'll start with you. Good morning. Your sense on the broader markets, what's your sense on the Nifty and the Bank Nifty, and if you have any strategy for that?
Yeah, hi, very good morning. Well, I think things were much clearer day before yesterday itself when we had seen a gap down opening of about 120 points in Nifty. But in spite of Nifty breaching the 12,000 mark, the put writers were not willing to show any kind of unwinding. So post then we have seen a gradual recovery, and in fact if you look at the broader markets, the up move has been supported by very good market breadth. So these are all quite positive signs. So it seems that the markets have certainly resumed its uptrend after that a small corrective phase, and now on the higher side 12,300, which has acted as a hurdle in last 1 month. I think that would be taken out very soon. So we are expecting targets of around 12,500 on a positional basis. So we are advising our clients also to go long on 11,300 call option, which is right now trading in the range of 55 to 60. One can keep a stop loss below 14 and buy this for this weekly expiry, expecting targets around 127.
Okay, Richard, that's the 12,300 call, right?
Sorry, yeah, 12,300 call option.
All right. Okay. In fact, that's what most of the experts have been saying. Once Nifty crosses the mark of 12,300, probably 12,500 is something you should watch out. If you look at the monthly distribution of open interest for the monthly series, so there as well, the 12,500 call is sitting with maximum open interest. There you go. That's on your screen. 12,500 call and 12,000 put. So that's the range that you're getting for the month, between 12,000 to 12,500. Having said that, Brijesh, good morning to you as well. Would you take a bet at current levels or no?
Good morning, Amit. See, yesterday when I was there on the show on the closing basis, I said that still 12,293 or say 12,300 is a level which I would be watching very keenly. If anyhow we are able to surpass this level, then we would be watching the new highs. Always, twice or thrice the Nifty has tried to touch that level, and we have found a selling pressure from that level. So today also it has been a little bit gap up opening. So technically, volatile session would be there. No doubt the trend is a little bit on a neutral to a bullish side, but I have a contra call in it. So taking a Nifty future value, anything about 12,300, I would be going short with the stop loss of 12,390 and play for the target of 12,150.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in on the index. Brijesh, let's move it to stock-specific ideas. I believe you have two long calls here. Which are the stocks that you want to talk about?
Good morning, Darshan. See, both the calls have made today a new 50-week high. So if I talk about DV's Lab, the DV's Lab has been trading in the range of downside somewhere around was 1647, 1645, and upside was somewhere around 1850. Now this range has been broken and it has moved up with slightly increase in the volume, and even the oscillators making the higher lows formation. So taking the future value at the present rate of 1883 around, it's been quoting till 1880. One can be long in it with the strict stop loss of 1850 and play for the target of 1950. Time frame to hold the counter would be at least 2 to 4 trading session. Another call is Tata Global. If I'm not mistaken, somewhere around 211 to 215 zone. I have recommended this share on your channel for an investment point of view. It has made a bullish flag pattern, and my target was somewhere around 400 or 420. Taking the future value right now today, it has made a new 52-week high. It has been quoting somewhere around 339, 340 zone. So if someone has a very short-term view for say 2 to 3 trading session, one can be long in it with the stop loss of 332, 333 and play for the target of 350. If someone has a view for investment, as I've said, it has a target of 400 to 420.
Okay, so those are some individual stock bets, and looks like Divi's is a consensus buy. Even Ruchit has a buy call there on Divi's Laboratory. Ruchit, take us to your individual stock bets for the day.
Yeah, so DVs is even buy from our side because we have seen a breakout from a consolidation phase. And also, if you look at the pharma space, then the Nifty Pharma Index now seems to be set for a resumption of this uptrend after a consolidation phase. So DVs one can go long. We have advised with stop below 1840 for target of 1934. And the cement is another sector which we are quite positive on. In fact, in last 3 or 4 trading sessions, we have seen that many of the stocks have seen a move with very high volumes. And this is one space which have not seen any kind of outperformance in the recent past as well. So I think there could be some catch-up rally in cement space. Ambuja Cement from this sector looks good from the F&O space. So 215 call of Ambuja Cement could be bought with stop loss of 1.25 for target around 9.5.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in. We were going to discuss Tata Global, but Brijesh has already highlighted what that strategy means. So it's a positive view coming in. It's the second best gainer on the F&O side. I also pull up Dish TV. I believe there's a sudden up move on the counter. It's up 7% on decent volume, so that's managed to spike up in trade. Open interest build up of 7%. Not the most expensive counter, is 13 rupees, but nevertheless in percentage terms, it's up 6% currently. And as cement was pointed out, cement as well as pharma seem to be the two sectors that seem to be doing well. I'm just spotting that some of the metal counters of late have spiked out, especially the steel ones. So if we can quickly pull up Tata Steel, JSW Steel and SAIL and just see the intraday chart and see whether they have spiked or no. That seems to be the move that's coming in right now. So Tata Steel has managed to move up suddenly 1.2%. JSW Steel has also, it's given up the gains, but yes, there seems to be a little bit of movement that's coming in on the steel counters.
Okay, so watch out for all these steel companies which have been buzzing. Okay, let's take MGL then. The stock's down for the 7th straight session today. In fact, UBS's recent note indicates, of course, they are bullish on the OMCs and the upstream, but they've downgraded the gas distribution company. So UBS has downgraded MGL to sell. And with the recent move that we've seen, the stock has also slipped below the 50 DMA. Ruchit, MGL on the charts, considering the move of last 7 to 8 sessions, it slipped below the simple 50 DMA. Would you suggest someone to take a fresh short position at current levels?
Frankly, if we look at long-term charts, then no, I don't think there is a change in the trend due to these last 6 or 7 days of correction. So I think the medium to long-term charts trend still for the stock still continues to remain positive. Yes, it is in a corrective phase. It could correct up to 992 on or 990 on the low side, but the risk-reward ratio for creating fresh shorts over here is not that favorable for target of about 1.5–2% for downside from current levels. So I would not take any contra bet over here, but I would wait for how the price action does around 990. But as of now, since the broader trend is positive, one should not create any fresh shorts.
It cannot create fresh shorts at this point of time on Mahanagar Gas. The other stock that we want to talk about is Dr. Reddy's, and pharma as a pack has done very well today. Dr. Reddy's is one of the stocks that's managed to move up 2% on decent open interest build up, giving it complete counters like DV's Lab, which both our technical analysts did recommend. Lupin has managed to spike after a long time. It's up 2%. So it seems that even Sun Pharma is up 2%. So there seems to be traction on the pharma space at this point of time. So let's ask what our analyst, what our guests feel about the counter. So Brijesh, Dr. Reddy's first. You already spoke about DV. So your view on Dr. Reddy's and any other pharma company apart from these two that looks interesting on the chart right now?
See, specifically if I talk about Dr. Reddy had a range of 2840 to 2848 on a downside, followed by 2925 to 2930 on the higher side. And as a disclosure yesterday, I have mentioned this call to my client. So my target was initially somewhere around 3050. So looking at this pattern of the range breakout with increase in volume indicates the momentum would be continuing on the higher side. But at this juncture of time of 2973, I would be saying avoid little bit. Let it trade somewhere around 2960 zone. Then your risk reward ratio would be in your favor with keeping a stop loss of 2925. Go for a long side for the target of 3050. Regarding considering another pharma counter, if we check it out, Sun Pharma again it has a range. A higher side is 450 to 455 followed by downside 406 to 410 zone. So it's just trading in this range. So as a range bound strategy has been concerned, buy near support, sell near resistance. It has to give closing above 450 or say 455 to move up. So till this range doesn't break, so I would be taking a here as a contra call, keeping a stop loss of 455. One can go on a sell side with Sun Pharma and play for the target of 420 or even downside.
Okay, that's the pharma space for you, which is buzzing in today's session. On that note, let's also start taking some viewer queries. The first one on YouTube comes in from Alan Divahar. He wants advice on MGL, which he's been holding at 1010, and we've already addressed MGL, by the way, with Ruchit, but he has another query as well. He wants to know whether he should look to short Godrej Consumer at 726. Ruchit, I'm going to come back to you. You've said the long-term charts are still looking intact for MGL. So then would you advise someone to continue holding their position at levels of 1010? And also, what's the view if somebody shorted Godrej Consumers at levels of 726?
So I would advise to continue holding longs with MGL, but yes, as I said, the support for the stock is around 990, so one should be ready to accept about 1.5-2% dip from current levels. But if we see any kind of resumption of the move from that support level, then we could again see levels around 1050, 1070 near term. So keep a stop loss below 985, which is about 4 to 5 rupees down from that support, and continue to hold long positions in MGL. And Godrej Consumer, I think short positions if there are, then one should look to exit from the stock, because the stock has recently given a breakout from a falling trendline resistance, and the near-term targets that we are looking for the stock is around its previous highs of 755, 758. So I think the momentum is quite positive amongst the mid-cap names. So avoid taking short position in such mid-cap names, and going contra. So I think one should look to exit shorts from Godrej. The stock could go higher towards 758.
Okay, YRP wants a view on the Maruti Suzuki 70-100 put. We had the management giving quite positive commentary. Let's pull up and see how Maruti has done. What is exactly are they doing? So it's the put is at 118 currently. Ruchit, I'll come to you only. What's your sense on Maruti 70-100 put? Would you recommend him buying? I would guess that he's saying he wants to buy the put, but what's your suggestion?
Frankly, I won't recommend him to buy the put option on Maruti, because if you see within the auto space, two stocks which have shown outperformance in last few months of up move is Maruti and Bajaj Auto from the two-wheeler space. So if you look at the trend for the stock is positive, and whenever there are dips around 89 EMA in Maruti, those dips are getting bought into. So the short to medium term trend also remains positive. So avoid taking any contra bet in such outperforming names.
Okay, and the stock which will be in focus, or rather is in focus, is Infosys. The numbers come out today, the December quarter numbers, but they will be coming out post market hours. So the actual reaction that you will see on the stock will be on Monday. But yesterday also towards the end in the last hour, we did see recovery coming in for the stock. On the future side, there were some signs of long build-up as the open interest was higher. And this morning also there are some incremental gains for Infosys. We've got a query on this one coming in from Bala Kumar. For the next series, this is Bala has sold Infosys 730 put at a premium of 27.5, and simultaneously he has sold 730 call at 30. So it's a short straddle, Brijesh, but for the February series, would you advise him to stay put with the position?
See, Navid, I would be saying from a technical point of view, taking a chart, another Infosys has a resistance at 755 to 760 zone. Till this range on the higher side it doesn't been broken. It doesn't look promising to be long in it. Whereas on the downside is been concerned, it has a mild support at 705 to 710 band. But the major support lies somewhere around 685. So I think right now from a technical point of view, since today is a result, but charts are not in the favor of the bull side. So chances are that there might be a little bit spike, but it should consolidate in the range of 755 on the higher side, and downside would be 710.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in. I just want to point out, Navneet, I think with Infosys today, it's the first Nifty earning that's come out. I think writing, I don't know what he's written both the calls
He's
for.
written, it's a short
Yeah,
strategy
so
for the next
he
series.
wants to play for 60 rupees, but I think our viewer needs to remember that Infosys has been rather volatile, and there is news of the whistleblower report being released, so that could cause reactions on either side. So his strategy is having a flat reaction on Infosys, but the move probably could come in either way. We don't know which one, but that whistleblower case is extremely important. Muthoot Finance is the other one. Harshvardhan has a query. He's bought the 770 call of Muthoot Finance at 22.7 rupees. Please give a view. So Ruchit, I'll come to you. He's bought it at 22. It's at 10 rupees right now. He's lost 50% of his money. What should he do?
See, as of now, I would recommend him to continue to hold the option. I think if you look at the last 4 or 5 trading sessions, prices have already corrected from their highs, and now 737 is a good support for the stock, and the prices are right now trading around that support level only. So you can expect a bounce back again towards 760, 765 kind of range. Once the stock comes around 760, he should again review the situation.
Okay, that's Muthoot Finance for you. Pull up HDFC Bank and check what that one is doing today. We've got a query coming in on this one. Remember, it's a heavy weight, and the stocks today also seeing some bit of gains. But on the future side, the open interest is down by about 1%. Brijesh, what are the charts of HDFC Bank suggesting at current levels? Would you advise someone to take a fresh bet here? The stock recently crossed its simple 50-day moving average.
See, there had been a V-shaped recovery from a level of 1240, and now it has been trading above 12. It's been trading at somewhere around 1280. But the momentum for continuing on the higher side, it has to cross 1290 or say 1292. So till this level doesn't been cross on the higher side, I would be suggesting take a sell side and play for the target of 1260 to 1265. So one can be short right now at the present rate. It's been quoting at 1282, keeping a stop loss at 1292, play for the target of 1262 to 1265.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in. There's also a query on RBL Bank. Let's pull up the stock of RBL. 345 is where Raghav has bought it. He is holding RBL futures at 345. He's up 10 rupees in the money. Brijesh, your sense, what should he do? Should he continue to hold or should he book out?
See, Darshan, oscillators have already given a sell signal, and chances are that in coming days the stock might try to fill up the gap. So I would be suggesting book partial profit at the present rate, or if he wants to hold, keep a strict stop loss of 351 and hold on to your position. Upside resistance is 360 to 362.
Okay, that's RBL Bank for you. Not doing too much in today's session. In fact, we had a lot of queries on RBL, which is already addressed. I just want to pull up GAIL. That's your top nifty gainer right now. And with GAIL, you've also seen recovery coming in for Coal India counter, which was down yesterday in a strong market. So GAIL's up 3%. Coal India also seeing gains about nearly 2 to 2.5%. Ruchit, on the charts, with the move that we are seeing for both these nifty gainers, as of now, would you recommend taking any position here?
For GAIL, 129 is a very important breakout level. In last 1 month, we have seen twice the stock had resisted around 120, between 128.5 to 129. So once we get a breakout above 129, then we could see some short covering as well as fresh long positions getting built up. So if one has to take a trade, then I would recommend to go long above 129. These are the cash levels. One can then keep stop loss below 125 for target around 138. Coal India, I think it's more in a consolidation phase right now, so I'm not expecting any significant moves on either side in Coal India, so one can look to avoid taking any trade in Coal India.
Your sense on Kotak Bank? I think Kotak is one stock I want to focus on, and the reason is that yesterday the case that was there has now been deferred to March. So the overhang, at least on the short term, goes. It's massively underperformed the other peers, large cap peers. Is it the time for Kotak to start moving? Ruchit, what's your sense? What should one do with Kotak Bank?
Yeah, Darshan, I think it's a good buy at current levels. Recently, whatever we have seen that last 3 months, whenever there has been up move in the prices, the open interest increases. But when there are corrections, we have not been witnessing any kind of short build-ups in this name. So I think the previous long positions that have been formed in the derivative segment are still intact. So when if you look at last 3 or 4 trading sessions, again a higher bottom has been formed and the stock seemed to have resumed its uptrend. Yes, it's a slow mover. We are not seeing any kind of significant moves, the kind of other banking stocks are usually seen. But the trend still continues to remain positive. One can go long at current levels in Kotak Bank with stock below 1630 and expect the stock to hit an all-time high, which to even surpass its previous high of 1730 quite soon.
Okay, that's Kotak Mahindra Bank for you. The other one is NMDC, which has been in focus this week. In fact, for the week, the stock's fallen about 5%. It's retreated from its 52-week high levels, and this is one metal company which has outperformed, I guess, in the last 1 year. With the amendment coming in the Mines and Minerals Act, because of that, there was an overhang with regard to the scarcity premium which NMDC was supposed to have, and majority of these iron ore mines, nearly 45, 46 of them, expired. The leases expire in March 2020. But the stocks rebounded. We did see sharp correction at least 2 days back. It's now trading with gains of 1 to 1.5%. Brijesh, looking at the charts for the week, of course, for the week it is still down 5%. But at these levels, would you advise someone to go short? One of our viewer wants to know.
NMDC?
Yes, NMDC.
See, NMDC, I would not be suggesting to go short in it. Right now, it's been quoting at 123 around. It has a strong support 118 followed by 120. Whereas on the higher side has been concerned, it has a resistance at 127. But on the weekly chart, it has formed a bullish wolf wave pattern, which indicates for the target of 135 or say 138. So I would be suggesting any dip should be used to go long. Somewhere 120 around, if it trades on 121, one can be long with the stop of 117, play for the target of 135 to 138.
Okay, use the dips to go long on NMDC. That's the advice coming in from Brijesh. Remember, it's just it has been trading around its 52-week high levels. Your top F&O gainer right now is Sun TV, and this one too has been a laggard, I think, for a really long time. Sun TV is now up about 4 to 4.5%. There is a build-up which is coming on the future side as well. After a while, 14 to 15%, indicating maybe there are some long positions for this counter. Ruchit, on the charts, the action on both sides, price as well as open interest. Would you take a bet here?
Sir, which stock are we talking about? Could come out again.
Sun TV.
Sun TV, if you look at the broader markets, this has been a relative underperformer in last few months, and as of now we have not seen any kind of long positions being built up except in today's trading session. So I would take this up move just as a pullback move, which could extend towards 465, 467. But unless there are signs and there are signs of any kind of long positions getting formed, so I think I would tend to avoid taking any fresh positions. If any existing long positions are there, one has bought at lower levels, then one can expect levels around 465 to 467, where one should again review the stock.
Okay, that's the view on Sun TV, and let's quickly take a look at the markets as well. Nifty, Bank Nifty, both of them right now are sustaining their gains. By the way, we are at the high point of the day, 12,277. So watch out for that mark of 12,293.94, which is all-time high mark. Remains to be seen. If we cross that, we register new live highs in today's session, and the major resistance of 12,300 gets crossed or not. Bank Nifty also sitting with good amount of gain. So it's turning out to be a session where incremental buying continues across the board, because even your broader market indices have been trading with gains. On that note, I would like to thank both our experts, Brijesh and Ruchit. Thanks a lot for joining us today and taking us through your views. Have a good weekend. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the F&O Show. It's goodbye from Darshan and my side and the entire team who put the show together. Stay tuned to BloombergQuint.